what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
I'm Broken System, Broken Trust, and I approve this message.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we've got a sovereign citizen out of Michigan that I think a ton of people actually covered his court case. But Bama Mike got the body cam for this. I've been sitting on this for, let me just double check the date here. I want to say like a month. 3 months I've been sitting on this because I'm just like, it's too long to make a video. But I wasn't exactly streaming things at the time. But it's a good one. It's a weird one, but a good one. Bama Mike's got the body cam, and then he threw a little bit of the court case on the end of it. Let's see, everybody here. Since when do we need a license to drive, KFARR? Since always. Let me throw this up on screen here. Bang. Maybe. There we go. Let me move myself up here. One day I'll get the hang of this whole streaming thing. There we go. All right, here we go.
What's up, Fields?
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, and yourself?
I'm good.
It's still the same situation.
Okay. Do you know why I stopped you?
No, I don't.
Okay. It's because of your license plate.
Uh-huh.
What is that, if you don't mind me asking?
It's the plate that I put on here. Let it be known that I'm a private entity. This is a private vehicle, not an automobile, and I'm not operating in commerce.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you have your driver's license on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do we have insurance on the vehicle yet?
I just told you it's the same situation.
I don't do.
You don't remember?
Sir, I talk to a lot of people, and so I don't quite. I mean, I remember your face. I don't really remember your name or anything like that. So, do you have a driver's license on you?
I have one, but I don't carry it no more because I'm not required to have it.
Okay, then can I have you step out of the vehicle?
But you are required to have it. That's the problem. You are required to have it. Because I've gone into this a million times, I feel like in videos. What was it? 100 years ago, I believe it was 1915. The Supreme Court decided, they ruled that, yeah, it's completely constitutional for every state to require you to have a driver's license. Before that, certain states actually did require you to have a driver's license already. And then I think 1954, 1956, South Dakota was the last holdout. Last I checked, this isn't 1954 South Dakota. This is Michigan in 2024. So you're wrong, bud.
Please. Yep.
Thank you.
What am I stepping out of my vehicle for?
So in the state, so I know you feel the way that you feel, right? And I'm not here to debate that with you right now. But in the state of Michigan, you're required to carry your driver's license on your person while you're driving. If not, it is a misdemeanor. It is called no ops on person.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you step out of the vehicle, please.
And again, that does not explain why I'm stepping out of my vehicle.
Yes, it does, because I'm going to detain you in a pair of handcuffs. So I'm going to ask you nicely one more time to please step out of the vehicle.
So because I don't have my... Maybe I should let you detain me and then sue you for false arrest. Because you cannot detain
I didn't
me.
say... Okay.
You cannot put handcuffs on me because I don't have a license, something that I just went through this with you with.
Okay.
Oh, matter of fact...
You do have it on you. Okay.
And I was muted. You clearly see there. Well, let me see. Right here. It's a private plate. It's a make-believe plate. He probably bought it off Amazon. If you look up private plate, you can find them everywhere. It's such a simple thing to just not do. He's driving a little older of an Escalade. He probably bought it when it was new, when he had money. In 2024, he's probably fallen on some tough times and decided he was going to go down the sovereign citizen dumbass rabbit hole. Yeah, you don't have a license for 41 more days. What do? You ride your bike, walk, or take the bus. It's really that easy. It is simply that easy. But sovereign citizens, for some reason, just keep nuking it. Shit, I think even BSBT is understood with his basically guilty plea in White Lake, I want to say it was. I think even he's got it through his head of, yeah, I'm just going to ride a bike. I'm just going to ride a bike from now on. And he's been going around on his Huffy or whatever.
Awesome. That is all I needed.
But
from
you know
then.
what? I do want to be detained because we had this conversation before. That
I'm
a
not
driver
gonna,
license.
So now I have
driver
nothing
license-
to detain you for. So
A driver
I'm going to give you
license,
this.
insurance, and plates is not a requirement. I have not committed a crime, so you had no reason to pull me over. And I hope your cameras.
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna need a copy of that too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. May you please sit back in the vehicle now?
Okay. But you just, matter of fact, let me call my attorney. Because
Okay. Actually, now that you're out of the vehicle, I'm going to have you stay out and we're going to go to the front of my car, okay?
For what? Because if you conduct an illegal.
And just throwing this out there, your public defender isn't your on-call attorney for the rest of your life.
Search and seizure.
I'm not searching nothing.
Okay, so why am I stepping to the back of my vehicle?
Because
see, you're doing a whole lot of things that's unconstitutional and against the law.
Okay.
So why you didn't have me step out of my vehicle?
Okay, now we're gonna go this way, please.
Okay, let's go.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm gonna make sure you don't got nothing on you, okay? All right. So now I'm gonna have you sit right here, please. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so just to be clear, you still do not have insurance on the vehicle?
No, I don't.
Okay.
If you guys could find his TikTok page, his YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever he's posting this video, I would like to see it. Yeah, Ed, that's the problem. BSBT is a 50-year-old grown-up. Or a 50-year-old child, rather. And I know this because, funny story, he actually commented on one of my community posts today, saying the little engine that couldn't. So I had to inform him that he's a 50-year-old man who couldn't hack it in the military, couldn't hack it as a parent, and is now basically a bum. And he didn't respond to that, which is pretty telling.
All right.
And you said you had me step back here for what now? I had me step out of my vehicle for what now?
So at first you told me that you did not have a driver's license on you, right? Which is a misdemeanor.
And that's a crime for you to have me step out of my vehicle. I committed a crime for you to pull me over, correct?
Your plate.
And that's a crime, correct?
It is the civil infraction. You didn't have a plate on the vehicle. It's an improper plate.
It's improper.
Yes,
so
sir.
The U.S. Supreme Court has not said that I do not need a plate, license, or insurance as long as I'm not functioning in commerce. Is this what you're saying?
Okay, so you have an improper plate on your vehicle, sir.
I'm asking, because see, when I take this into the courtroom and send it to the U.S. Supreme Court to show that y'all are ignoring court rulings, then that gives me more ground to do what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Just spoiler alert, there is, if you guys can see the little break right here, it does lead into his court case. And it doesn't go the way that he thinks. And it's definitely not going to go to the Supreme Court. This is already ruled upon shit that he's ignoring for narrative purposes.
So I'm asking you, are you voiding a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling?
Do you have a preference on who tows your vehicle?
You want to tow my vehicle, knock yourself out. Because then I could charge you for that too, because my vehicle is registered as a secure party under UCC 1. So if you want to do anything you want to do what you feel like it.
Okay, do you have a preference on who tows it?
Whoever you want to have tow it.
Okay, so a vehicle to be on the roadway in the state of Michigan must have insurance, okay?
It does.
You told me it doesn't.
No, I'm telling you, this is what you're telling me, that you are avoiding a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling. Is this what you're doing?
Do you have insurance for the car?
No, I don't. See, he wrote me a ticket before. He knows this stuff already. He knows that we already have a hearing going on. So this is just compiling onto now harassment. Because we had this conversation once before. When we was over there, he said, yeah, I know, we got to go to court, and there's a reason why they haven't did the hearing yet.
Yes.
So I'm asking you, are you voiding a U.S. Supreme Court case?
So the first time that I stopped you, you had a plate on the vehicle. You don't. Now this is a completely improper plate. So that was the reason for the stop today.
Did the plate have tags on it? Because you stopped me because the tags was expired. So that, according to you, is that or is that not an improper plate?
This plate right here isn't a valid Michigan plate. So in Michigan, you have to have a plate.
And this,
registered to
this is what I'm showing. This we've already went through before. U.S. Supreme Court says I do not have to have a license plate, driver license, or insurance to operate as long as I'm not operating in commerce. Did I?
We've been over this. Like I already said, 100 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the states can require you to have a driver's license. And again, all 50 states require you to have a driver's license. I want to say this is... when this guy moves, I was trying to figure it out, but he took too long to move, so I couldn't see it. The side of the car says where it is. I'm drawing a blank, but I'll see it in a second. But yeah, this guy's trying to void 100-year-old case law because he wants to rock a plate that says private.
Did I not show you that ruling?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
Nope. So hang tight with my partner, please.
Yeah, okay.
Here's what I can tell you, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I've run into this plenty of times.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an officer for 18 years here in Battle Creek. Right, run into this plenty of times.
Battle Creek.
You do have to have a plate on your car. If the car's driving on the road, it has to have insurance. So those are violations. No.
This guy's never used the phone before.
So can you read this for me, please, sir?
Well, so here's what I'm trying to get y'all. If I pulled up the state law for Michigan that said you have to have your vehicle registered through the Secretary of State and it has to be insured in order to travel on the roadways, would that make any difference to you right now?
No, it wouldn't, because the U.S. Supreme Court has already ruled, and that applies to a vehicle, not an automobile, and they are specific in their language. That's why I asked you to read this. That's why I'm asking him.
In 18 years, I've heard this argument a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Not once has it ever been overturned. What he's doing, not once has it been overturned at the state level for any case that I've ever been part of, where if somebody's driving without their vehicle registered, and we're talking here in Battle Creek, right?
Okay. Now let me ask you a question, because I do have a copy of you guys' oath and obligation. Are you not obligated to enforce the U.S. Constitution? Did you not take an oath to do that?
I sure did.
Does the U.S. Constitution not state that we are not required to have a license to operate a vehicle?
I don't know why the Constitution would say anything about vehicles, seeing as how the Constitution was written prior to vehicles. I think he's talking about the Supreme Court, and if you're talking about the Supreme Court, they ruled on this 100 years ago, bud.
On the words of Congress, that you cannot convert a privilege into a right, or a right into a privilege. Does it not say that in the U.S. Constitution?
So what this boils down to is an interpretation of the wording, and I'm just telling you this is the instruction that we have through our city attorney, right? This is the courts. We will operate here in the state of Michigan, right, under Michigan law. Michigan law requires you to have a plate and have your vehicle insured.
Now the next question is, does Michigan law supersede the U.S. Supreme Court? Or does Michigan law supersede the U.S. Constitution? See, this is the thing that I know what y'all are taught, right? But in the end, it's going to boil down to you guys
when do you, and that's not me being a smart aleck, when do you think that the end that it boils down to will be? Because every end where something boils down to, like this same situation, in the end, when it all boils down, you are required to have a plate and insurance.
Okay, well,
so I don't know when.
It boils down to when you go into the courtroom, the court's like, you know what, we don't want to deal with this. We're not going to have a hearing on it. We're not going to even rule on it. So that way there's no record to prove that what you're saying is correct, because we know what the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled, and the lower courts can.
I just want to point this out. We've seen one of these cases go to conclusion. We've seen it. It was very public. I believe I did a reenactment of the transcripts from the case of a sovereign citizen in Michigan getting pulled over for an expired license, taking it through trial, getting arrested on a warrant, being brought back, and him, I believe he pled nolo contendere to all the charges and took the plea deal. We've already seen this go to conclusion. But for some reason, this guy's like, oh, it's a grand conspiracy. It's a grand conspiracy to keep this out of the legal lens. It's like, no, dude, we've already seen this. Great example, Eric Martin. Another Michigan sovereign citizen went through the entire process, was found guilty. But this guy's playing make-believe. He thinks he's going to be the one. Sir, you are not him.
Nor can a police officer or peace officer change a ruling of a U.S. Supreme Court judge.
And so that ruling hasn't happened, right? That's why we're still out here. That's why we're still out here enforcing this law.
You're enforcing it because you don't know it. So it's funny, right? Because if you go when you go into the courtroom, and the court's like, you know what, this is correct, and they dismiss the case. So what? But your guys are still enforcing it. So it's going to take like a major. And I'm not being, because you're not being rude with me. I'm not doing, and I don't want to go this route, but it's going to take a major lawsuit, a civil matter, in order for people to stop violating people's rights. Because you guys are not attorneys. You don't go to courts or go to law school to learn the law. Y'all only enforce penal codes, which I can show you U.S. Supreme Court ruling in the states that all rules, regulations, and codes are for you guys and you guys alone, not for men, not for natural people. which is in
about,
clear
like,
language.
What about like the Supreme Court, like Pennsylvania versus Mims, and things where the Supreme Court has ruled like we can't have you step out of the car?
Okay, there has to be a crime being committed before you can have me step out.
Sure don't.
Terry v. Ohio, which is called a Terry stop.
That's different. That has to do with a search.
Okay, in order for you to conduct a search, you have to do what?
You have to have reasonable suspicion. Terry versus Ohio is about a pat down search.
Right, a search. So in order for you to,
but to have you
me
step from
out,
a vehicle,
that means I have to be done something that caused suspicious for you to pull me over. Mean that I have to be committed a crime.
So
you can't just
Pennsylvania versus Mims. Actually, the Supreme Court said we can have anybody step out of the car.
Okay, I'm gonna look that one up.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that before that there has to be a cause. You can't just.
We have to have a reason to stop you.
Right.
Which that plate is a valid reason to stop.
Is that a crime?
It's a valid reason to stop you.
Is it a crime?
It's a civil infraction. It's a violation. It's a violation of Michigan statute.
Is it a crime? Because you can't. A person can walk down the street and he looks suspicious, so I stopped him. So that really don't.
Is it a crime if you don't use your turn signal?
But I did use my turn signal.
No, I'm saying, is it that would be a crime?
Actually, no, it wouldn't be.
It'd be a civil infraction.
Again, that's why
it's still a valid stop.
Read this again.
With me on that?
I'm read this again. U.S.
I'm going to be honest with you. I doubt this guy can actually read. I doubt this guy has done any type of schooling. And this is kind of the thing that frustrates me the most when it comes to sovereign citizens, is because they pretend that they are the end-all, be-all of legal knowledge, and then one of the easiest Pennsylvania v. Mims. Oh, I don't know. I've never heard of it. Oh, I'm going to have to look it up. More than likely, if his last traffic stop went the same way as this one, they probably said something about it then, and he didn't look it up because it doesn't fit his narrative. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, and then they tried to do the code, statutes, ordinances aren't laws, even though statute is the definition of statute is a law passed by legislation. But it apparently is still not a law because it would hurt this guy's argument. Back to the video.
Supreme Court decisions. All codes, rules, and regulations are for governments. So, and government alone. So you are trying to enforce a what? A code, a penal code, an MCL, which is only for government officials, according to the U.S. Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court in some other state. Because every court.
Could I pull you over if you ran a stop sign?
Could you?
I'm asking.
I mean,
would it be a valid stop?
According to what y'all are taught, it would be. But according to what I just read, and this is not a misinterpretation.
What about what you believe?
I believe in what I read. I believe in what the courts have already said and ruled on. So there's a reason why they have ruled on it and went this route about it because of this type of incident, of going this way. Yeah. It's not my fault that y'all don't want to accept it, or you feel like you need to be in control of things, or you feel like laws is here to govern when we are supposed to be self-governed.
I'm not arguing. I'm just wondering where you draw the line. Like on a civil infraction. Say somebody was going 100 miles an hour down this road right here. Would that be a valid reason for me to stop you?
For you, yeah.
Would it for you? Do you think that's?
I mean, I would look at it as endangering someone's life.
It's still, what's the law that was broke? It's still infraction. It's speeding. The speed limits are set up.
But again,
it's an MCL code.
Right, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. So that's something that y'all need to address with the U.S. Supreme Court.
No, I'm asking what your personal belief on that one.
I'm believing what I believe that as a private individual, that's self-governed. I'm not going to use the word that everybody else uses because nobody can explain why they are what this claim to be. But as a private individual, and this is by Hinkle versus Hale, as an individual, I do not have to open my doors to investigation. I don't have to talk to y'all or say anything as long as I'm not impeding on the rights of another human being. But as a corporation, which I'm not a corporation, then I do not have a right to refuse to open my doors because you're not talking to a corporation.
Mr. Williams?
So,
okay, so before we get into this, so the only reason I'm not as irritated as I normally would be is because the tow truck has already been called. So at this point, the car's gone and they're just killing time. That's the way I had to look at it because normally I would be like 30-ish minutes on this traffic stop. That's too long. But he called the tow truck 5 seconds into the video. So this guy's already screwed when it comes to his vehicle, and they're just killing time.
So just one thing I want to make you aware of too. So you are non-compliant on your sex offender registry. So
I've already talked to them.
I would just probably try and get that.
Okay, yeah, I've already talked to them. They know that I am on disability, so therefore they're supposed to be taking care of that.
I just like to let people know.
Okay.
So, and then I did issue.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Let's go back. Roosevelt LaShawn Williams. Oh, he's on the old registry. What a shock. Date convicted 3/12/2007. Which means as of this video, I believe this was 2024. What is that? 3, 10, 17 years past due for his wood chipper appointment? Like, he should never have gotten a chance to even do this. Next thing you know, he's going to become a frauditor. That seems to be their thing. Criminal sexual conduct, third degree, persons 13 through 15. And at the time that he was convicted of this, he was 53. I almost said something. I almost took a shot at a religious person there for a second, but I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm a little frustrated by this. I didn't watch this much of the video. That's disgusting.
Talk to them.
I would just probably try and get that.
Okay, yeah, I've already talked to them. They know that I am on disability, so therefore they're supposed to be taking care of that.
I just like to let people know.
Okay.
So, and then I did issue 2 citations today. Okay.
No insurance.
For no insurance and improper plate.
Okay. That's fine.
Both of those tickets are misdemeanor in nature, so you have to go to court for those.
And we already have one in the court pending, so I'll just add this to it. But I like how you never answered the question of, are you avoiding?
Listen, please listen. I'm going to, so because I'm towing your vehicle, okay, I'm going to inventory your vehicle. Is there anything I'm going to find in there?
So you're towing my vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Knock yourself out.
Is there anything I'm going to, nope.
I got to make sure, I got to see what I got in there.
Okay. Is there anything that shouldn't be in there that I want? No. All right, I'll just have you hang back with while I do that, and then we're going to wait for your tow truck, and then you'll be on your way.
And where's my vehicle being towed to?
Buds and Pound.
Buds and Pound.
Or you can pay to have it towed to your residence.
And how much is that?
That I don't know.
Okay. And how long is this going to take?
That I don't know. It depends on when Buds gets here.
All right.
They should be here within 30 minutes.
All right.
That's part of their contract.
As per their contract.
I'm for to have a field day with this one. I really am.
I don't necessarily understand where you're coming from, but I hear you.
Okay.
All right? I hear you.
Yes, sir. I need to get my keys out of my vehicle and secure my vehicle. Is that all right?
I can grab your keys for you. Where they're in the ignition.
They're in the ignition. Roll my windows up and lock my doors.
Okay.
Can you leave the ignition key so that Buds doesn't just drag it up there?
I'm going to be here because I'm going to pay whatever it is to have my vehicle towed.
They are not in the ignition, sir.
Yep, I got them on.
There you go.
Yep.
You're up ready.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I want to see this fight. I want to see this gigantic officer beat the brakes off of this sex offender. I know that's a terrible thing to say. But like I said, I didn't make it this far in the video. I heard some sovereign citizen shit. Saw the sovereign citizen who keeps losing title and decided, yes, I'm going to play this video. That part angered me. Yo.
Are you removing private property from a vehicle, from my vehicle?
Yes, sir. The plate is not legal to be on the roadway, so it's
Knock yourself out. Go ahead. Because the Fourth Amendment clearly states that you cannot take private property without just compensation. I'm letting you know.
Okay.
And all this is being recorded, so knock yourself out. And your oath is what? That you have an obligation to uphold and enforce the Constitution. What you asking them for? You already made, sir. I'm asking you, baby.
I'm helping. You know what? I know we can take an improper plate that's a Secretary of State issued plate. I don't know if we can take that plate.
Okay. We'll leave your plate.
Just like you cannot take that vehicle.
Well, he can tow the vehicle.
I'm going to disagree here. Because this is basically like, could they take a counterfeit driver's license? Yes, they could. I would take it as evidence. We've seen a million times them not only get confiscated, they've been charged for having a counterfeit plate. I believe a lot of that is happening in Florida. Well, they'll charge you for a counterfeit plate. Take his plate, charge him for a fake plate, and then watch as you burn it. Or have him watch as you burn it.
He can tow the vehicle, right?
Yep.
Just like
but I don't know about the plate.
Just like I have a copy already. He already know I have a copy of his bond, Kristen Field. So I'm finna snatch that, and I'm finna start placing liens on your property. And let's see how you like that. See, that's what this is for the boy down to. All because you want to try to act like you're something that you're not. You're not a police officer. You're a peace officer. Learn who you are and learn who you're dealing with when you're dealing with citizens, private citizens. And since you want to go there, and I know this is being recorded, because I get a copy of that, you're dealing with a sovereign citizen. You do know what that is, right? Right? Oh, don't.
Yes, a domestic terrorist.
And you never answered the question, are you voiding, or do you have jurisdiction or authority to void a U.S. Supreme Court case ruling? You never answered that. Why is that?
So, again, where this is where we're playing with words.
No, I'm not playing with words.
Well, it is. What he's doing right now is enforcing Michigan state law.
Right, but the U.S. Supreme Court supersedes to which all y'all are bound by. Are you or are you not?
We're bound by the Constitution, yes. But here's the thing.
Are you not bound by U.S. Supreme Court rulings? Are you not?
Are there a lot of rulings that say you have to follow the Michigan state law?
Why is nobody answering this question? Are you or are you not bound by U.S. Supreme Court case rulings?
We're talking about two different things here.
No,
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
Are you or are you not bound by Michigan state law?
According to the U.S. Supreme Court, no, I'm not. I am a private individual. I'm not a corporation. See, these Michigan penal codes, that's why y'all refuse to read what people give y'all to read. These are U.S. Supreme Court cases, and I'm going to keep saying this because I like it.
No, they don't read anything that you give them to read because it's the Eric Martin shit all over again. I forgot which just happened. The Sharon Moore case, and I'm drawing a blank on the prosecutor's name, but she popped in right at the end, right before the case got over. She popped in real quick. Her and Eric Martin were going at it. Eric Martin sent her a list of Supreme Court case law that said he didn't need a license to drive. She came back the next hearing and said, Mr. Martin, not only do none of these say or back up your claims, some of these cases don't even exist. That's why they don't read your shit. Because you're not providing case law from top to bottom. You're cherry picking a sentence pro or against that case law, and that's what you're trying to pass off as case law. I have never seen any Supreme Court case one sentence this big on a sheet of paper. I've never seen one that small. But a sovereign citizen will tell you, that's it. That's all there is to read. That's not how it goes. That's why they're not reading it, dude. And you're a sex offender. You shouldn't even be on Earth anymore.
Be a report. So you not have no plausible deniability of saying we didn't know what I'm telling you. But you, Bailey, this has nothing to do with you. I've dealt with him before. He already knows this. He knows that we have something going on in court, but you want to act like you don't know. But since you don't know, then we're gonna go your route. We're gonna do this your way. And then you're gonna hate me even more. Oh, he's a smart.
I don't hate you at all.
You gonna. Because then when you can't explain to your girlfriend, wife, or your children why he's not taking our property, because you didn't uphold or follow the oath that you took as an officer.
Oath.
I, Christian Fields, have taken an oath to uphold and follow the U.S. Constitution, state Constitution, Michigan Constitution. I will not.
They should pick this guy up and throw him right in that dumpster because that's where he belongs. No, he hasn't read the 10th Amendment because that would debunk his entire sovereign citizen argument. So he runs and jumps right over the 10th. I've literally listened to sovereign citizens way back in the day. I would listen to sovereign citizens debating each other on live streams. They would literally jump over the 10th Amendment and pretend it didn't exist. Or pretended that the 9th Amendment actually voided the 10th Amendment, and they would go from 9 to 11. It kills me. Are you going to send us to a dingus jousting channel again after this, asking for your work wife? Yeah, I don't know where I'm sending you guys after that. Just for that, I will give it a shot. Looking that up real quick. Right at the end, I'll do it. But yeah, I'm not going to send you guys anywhere crazy.
What? Violate this. But here it is, you're doing what? So therefore, that makes my claim against your bond. What? And it's all on camera. I didn't know. He told me.
All right, we can find out from them what it would cost to have it.
No
where
problem.
where would you want it?
I was just going right around the corner. You know when we had our conversation that once before, when your other partner pulled me over and you pulled up and tried to talk to me like.
Let me ask you. How would you be able to pay for that?
I was going to be with a card.
With a card?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, you are hilarious. You know that? Yeah, I'd be breathing like that too.
It's cold.
Is it? Set in your vehicle. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere but straight over there to the risk management. And say, here's another one to add that to that. And if your bond is what you bonded for $1 million, so how much you think this for the cost?
Zero.
I know.
Mr. Sovereign Citizen, sex offender. It's going to cost this officer $0 because you are going to go to court and the judge is going to be like, you're wrong. Sorry, you're wrong. I can tell you that you're wrong because what is it? 1915, 100 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled that the states can require you to have a driver's license. The state of Michigan requires you to have a driver's license. Sorry. Like, just because you... If we're going to be honest, I would guarantee you this entire sovereign citizen thing from him stems from him being a sex offender. I would put money on that.
Oh, you thought about telling me about my sex offender that was going to stop me from or deter me?
It was just informative. That's all.
I didn't already know this.
I didn't know that. How am I supposed to know?
There's a lot that you don't know, but you're going to find out.
Right? You don't know till you know.
Right. Right.
And just so you guys know, I'm probably going to cut that out, the part where it shows his sex offender status, and I'm going to make a short about it and just fry this guy.
Bring out a receipt, correct?
And send it to you. Well,
I'm gonna need this. Okay, I go to the library.
Or I'm saying, or you like, oh look, this last
no, I'm gonna need a receipt now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hold on, cause I gotta take pictures and get the information.
Do your job.
Not do his job?
No, I'm not. Right now, I'm trying to remain civilized and not take out something on people that has nothing to do with it.
I appreciate that.
No problem. I don't know how to put that plate up. Oh, and matter of fact, so you guys can take vehicles that's belong to other people's?
Clear up your question so I answer.
So my vehicle is still registered as I am the registered secure party of this vehicle as a lien holder, right? So the title is still not even in my name.
Okay.
So
yeah, the reason why it's being towed is because it's not legal to be on traveling on the roadway like it was.
According to y'all.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Okay.
So
well, not according to y'all, but because if that was the case, why you didn't do it the first time you gave me a ticket?
Because you told me you had just gotten the vehicle. You said you just picked it up from
I showed you. Okay, so we'll.
Okay, I can answer this probably better than the officer can because the officer talked about it 3 seconds ago. Well, probably 23 minutes ago. The officer said, because this guy brought it up before, the officer said, because the last time you just had bad tags, but you had a real plate. So he was giving him a break. He said, oh, I just got the car. Okay, cool. You probably haven't updated it yet. Cool. That's fine. You can drive off. Instead of taking care of it, he went out and got an entire fake plate. It's not the registration's expired. It's that you have a fake plate. That's the difference.
It was an excuse for the second time when you stopped.
That was my partner. That was not me.
Why you didn't take it then?
Because it's his traffic stop. It's not
his
mine.
traffic.
Yes, sir. Just like it's my traffic stop right now,
Okay.
right? So
okay.
Yep, that's why. But you had told me that you just bought in the vehicle, or not bought, I'm sorry. You were the lien holder and you just picked it up from Benton Harbor. And
Benton Harbor, or did I say Battle Creek?
Or you came from Benton Harbor
So
from
you
Battle
can't even
Creek.
get your lie together. The title, may I grab the title out of my vehicle, please? Because see, when you run it, and that's something else. So my license, driver license, and my home address, I know what it is. So where in the hell did you get as my place of residence?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
But see, so now we got falsifying documents by an officer. Because I gave my driver's license to have my I like you.
Okay.
Here's how he can do this. He ran his license. His license could probably have a different address than his sex offender registry updates, or his registration for the car when they ran the VIN number, or a million other things. Because like I said, if you guys run anyone through the system, you will come up with their like 10 past addresses. So if his last updated address was from his sex offender registry bullshit, that's the address that they're going to use because that's the most recent address. Pretty simple, but this guy lives in fucking Fantasyland.
I'm finna grab my title out of my vehicle.
That's right. Nothing that we can say to change his mind, so just be professional, do your job. That's all there is to it.
So is that a crime?
For not knowing where your address is?
No. For falsifying and putting down false information. Especially when I already gave you my driver's license, right? That has the correct address. Secretary of State. I went to Secretary of State and asked them to verify with my address.
For you for our
Auto populates. What is it? Are we talking about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that auto populates when we run your driver's license.
I called the police department because I asked the dispatcher, where's they getting the information from? Because she's supposed to send the officer back out here to talk to me because she's like, well, if that's what your driver's license is.
I believe that comes through the Secretary of State.
So I just went to the Secretary of State and they said that's what they have. It's this address on there. So we're going to find out where you getting this address from.
Sir,
and falsifying the document.
If you don't mind, that's you, correct?
Avenue, Benton Harbor, Michigan.
What is
Let
that?
me see what's on here.
I'm trying to help you right now. If you just want to let me show you something.
You didn't give me enough help. Thank you. I asked you, where you getting this information from that you're putting the wrong address on my stuff?
Someone else had put it in there. It wasn't me, but.
Oh, look at there. What address is on there? And this is at the Secretary of State. What's the address that's on there? So where in the hell is you getting your information from? And don't say somebody else because you just wrote the ticket.
So
Did nobody else write the ticket? Yeah, auto-populates.
Yes, sir.
So why the dispatcher didn't know auto-populates? Why the people at the courthouse don't know that y'all is auto-populating? Why is the Secretary of State saying that y'all don't know about the auto-populate?
That's something you can take up with court. It is still you. It's still got your driver's license number. If the address is incorrect on it, that's more so we can mail something if we would have to. But either way, I want to hold this gentleman up right here.
Let me go ahead and pay you real quick.
Oh, real quick. Name. I just need name and number real quick.
Roosevelt, not Roosevelt. Two O's. Roosevelt Williams.
You said that.
R-O-O.
Roosevelt Williams, the sex offender.
Wrong.
S-E.
I think
V-E.
that auto-populates from
L-G.
Secretary of State, don't it?
It depends on if they already have an RMS profile.
Otherwise, it would put it in from RMS.
And that's where it came from.
So we would always want to verify and make sure we put in the address that's like their current registered address.
Yes, it is, because our inbound miles from inbound from Marshall here.
Okay, don't worry. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
you're going to pay me for it, so it don't make a difference.
Just say do it.
This is simple. You took a simple, leave me alone, and turn it into I want your whole public hazard bond. That means I'm bond that y'all bonded for. I need that. And plus his property. Since you want to mess with something that belongs to me, this is mine. I paid for this. This is a private vehicle. This is not nothing in commerce. But
the officer nailed it earlier in the video. He said it's a wording issue where sovereign citizens believe one thing and the rest of human society, police officers, lawyers, judges, the courts, the Supreme Court, think another way. Great example, the word employ. The word employ means to make use of something in the context of driving. It has nothing to do with commerce. It has nothing to do with hiring somebody. It means driver is someone who is making use of a vehicle. That's what it means. But to sovereign citizens who want to fit their own narrative, it's about being hired. It's a private vehicle. Okay, then keep it on private property. Once it enters public, it needs to fit this criteria. You need to have a license, registration, proof of insurance. Nope, not a private vehicle like this guy thinks.
Now, is it possible to do a split payment? I don't know if the whole 176 is on there, like 170 there, and then payment from another car. Just K9 unit? Is it possible?
I am K9.
Right, no, I'm saying you're not a sergeant or nothing, right?
I'm corporal.
Okay, I should have asked for a sergeant or a sheriff or even the state police, but I don't feel like going through it.
What's his up on the car?
Usually it's the sheriffs is who the sovereign citizens recognize their authority because
right, and it's like elected. I said, I didn't. Right, so you already know.
I'm telling you, this ain't my first.
I know. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it didn't have my funds.
It did.
Did not.
So, due for 150.
Oh.
Hey. Yeah, I did. Guess what? I just made me some more money today. They're sitting here towing my vehicle, right? So
he's probably on the phone with some dumb chick that that 13 or 15-year-old, she was lying, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really a sex offender, even though he was like found guilty and is on the registry. He probably tricked this woman into that. And now she's calling him, or he's calling her thinking, oh yeah, I came into some money today. And she's like, oh cool, you finally got a job? No, the sovereign citizen thing might actually pay off here. I drove with a fake plate, didn't want an ID, and now they're towing my vehicle. Happy day. Roosevelt, the sex offender, that's not how it works.
I'm for to pay them $176 to have it towed, right? And then after I get back in it and head to the courthouse, I'm going to start, because I was trying to wait till I got heard on the ticket, because I was going to use the ticket that he already wrote me. And use that as clear, to prove my prima facie case in the courtroom. But now I'm going to go ahead and file a harassment claim and see if it's the immediate thing I go ahead and start against this bond. Because it's the same officer. We'd already had this conversation, so now I have enough ground session.
Bad Apple Media. I'm sorry, but that's what the Supreme Court said. Even Black's Law Dictionary 2nd edition that he's using says he's wrong, and also this guy's a sex offender. Sorry to say you're on the wrong team, but you're on the wrong team.
Establish harassment. Yep, talking about my plate. Now keep in mind, and it's crazy, I just thought about it. They said they've been through this before, so they already know. So there's no problem with not doing it. They refuse to answer the question about if they're trying to overrule the U.S. Supreme Court case ruling, to which they're all bound by. To which I do not have them on camera that I can subpoena to get a copy of the thing showing that I gave them notice. They do know that they violate my constitutional rights, that they took an oath to uphold. So I'll just call and let you know that I'm for I don't know if I want to do this myself or had an attorney do it. Because I want his house, I want his bank account, I want everything. Really?
The other one, card payment or cash?
The other one's going on the card.
Just let you know that is another $3 charge.
It don't matter.
So that's $29. You're still covered.
Okay. Let me take care of this real quick and I'll give you a call back in 10 minutes.
1106 dispatch. Can I get a complaint number?
Okay, all right. Well, I'll be up there in a minute. All right.
Hey, Mr. Williams.
Sir?
You're a real man, so I can't tell you what to do. But if you drive it again, you could get pulled over again. You could get the same tickets again, and the vehicle would be towed again. Well, we could have this towed to the impound lot, and then you would have to get it registered and insured before it would be released to you, which I'm not trying to. Which I'm not trying to do, but if you're gonna drive it on the road, we're forcing that Michigan state law. It's got to be registered. So I know you're gonna tow it back to your house. I just wanted to tell it, like, if you're gonna be driving it again, you probably get pulled over again. Nice.
And he already tried to say that this was harassment because he got a ticket for it and it's currently going through. This is a terrible defense. This is a terrible defense. This is like saying, hey, I actually murdered someone, got off on bond, murdered someone again, but I've already been charged with murder, therefore I can't be charged with murder again. That makes zero sense. This is a completely different instance of you doing said thing, so you can be ticketed again for said thing. And he's still ignoring case law that was literally created 100 years ago that said the states can require you to have a driver's license. He can't get it through his head. His dumb sex offender head.
Trying to go through this again.
Well, Bailey, between me and you see me, you don't see me. That's what a lot of other officers have been doing. That's what he had been doing till today. Because I had 2 of y'all behind me this morning.
And well, I'm not saying that it's for sure going to happen, but I'm saying it's very well a possibility it could happen again.
Okay, because even if I had to take my plate off, right, and even though that the title still, I still have a day to transport or move my vehicle from one place to another place.
When you purchase it?
It's not in my name. I'm just a lien holder on there.
I know.
So I'll
say that would work if you bought it today and drove it somewhere, but if you're driving it tomorrow and you say you just bought it and drove it, that ain't gonna work.
I know.
And I'll tell you why this isn't gonna work again. I'll tell you why. It's a very easy thing. Well, I'll just take my plate off. I've got 8 days to transport it. You've already gotten 2 tickets for this, and they're being heard in court. So you can't take your plate off, say, oh, I'm moving it. And it's like, well, were you moving it 6 months ago when you got your first ticket? Or how about 3 months ago when you got your second ticket? Oh, you actually got convicted of those things? Huh. It seems like you just took your plate off and you're trying this all over again. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
But I'm saying, listen, I'm very, from our conversation, I'm very well versed with the laws.
Really not, sex offender.
Just because y'all don't agree with what y'all hear, or you guys don't step into the courtroom to find out what actually goes on in the courtroom. Like right now, if I was going to a courtroom and one of my brothers is sitting up on that bench, because I'm a 3rd-degree master mason, and so we can clear that courtroom out, y'all never know what's going on in that courtroom. And just because there's no ruling or proof of it, that don't mean that it didn't take place.
All right.
So, like I said, I respect you to the utmost. You didn't give me no problem, no harassment. He wanted to be a dick, told my vehicle. Like I said, this is not the first time, because you don't like the fact that I know something that you know that I know, and you don't want to acknowledge it. You don't want to answer questions that's now you out in public. That's going to be...
Sir, Mr. Sex Offender Sovereign Citizen, you know nothing. Personally, I am using the Constitution, Supreme Court cases, and state law. And you are using make-believe shit that is in your head. You heard it on a random YouTube short from somebody like Broken System, Broken Trust, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. You're taking something you heard in a YouTube short, a TikTok video, a Facebook reel, whatever. You're taking something that these dumb people with convictions said, and you thought, oh, I'm going to be the one that changes it this time. And then you just keep getting convicted. The officer knows you're wrong. You know you're wrong. You're just spitting word salad at this point. And didn't even respect us enough to give us any ranch. What are you doing?
Hey, public, because when I get a host of the record, I'm most definitely putting on TikTok, YouTube, every place. Okay. Create a even bigger.
You got a channel?
Not yet.
All right.
I use my commercial account on certain accounts.
Okay, I'm curious. Would he even be able to have a TikTok, YouTube account where he posts his own videos? Where he would have proof of having one, because he's a sex offender?
Even if I put it on there, I stand up, but whatever I put on there, there's nothing that can be done about it because it's covered under the freedom of speech. So if I put you guys on here doing this traffic stop illegally violating my constitutional rights.
You can post it. Yeah, I ain't arguing that. We get people post stuff. We get posted all the time.
Please post it.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you had a chance.
No, guy tried to give me this site card to it. Oh, let me run in here and get this.
All right,
real
you
quick.
do your thing.
All right.
We're almost to court. You know what?
All right,
sir.
Yeah.
We're skipping to the court. We're skipping to court.
Good day.
Yeah, you too.
If you remember this guy, I'm pretty sure that I covered this guy in court.
Only question I have is, will the laws of the U.S. Supreme Court be applicable, and the federal statutes and definitions of motor vehicle and automobile be applicable in this proceeding?
They are the state of Michigan laws that will be applicable.
Okay. The other question is, are you already not bound by U.S. Supreme Court rulings?
Every court is bound by relevant Supreme Court rulings.
Okay. I did inform Officer Kelly that I am not operating a motor vehicle, but I am operating an automobile. I did inform Officer Kelly of the ruling of Rodriguez v. Ray Donovan, U.S. Department of Labor, 769 Federal 2nd, 1344, where the U.S. Supreme Court's decision has ruled that all codes, rules, and regulations are for government authorities only and not for human creators. In accordance with God laws, all codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Are you telling me that a case at 769 Fed 2nd, 1344 indicates that all laws are unconstitutional?
All codes, rules, and regulations. Yes, sir. Rodriguez v. Ray Donovan.
I just want to point this out. Rodriguez v. Donovan from 1985 was about Sherwood T. Rodriguez, who was a federal employee, challenged the termination of his workers' compensation benefits. That's what that case is about. That's what that case is about.
And if I'm not mistaken.
And you said that was Department of what?
U.S. Department of Labor.
Okay, U.S. Department of Labor doesn't publish decisions in the Fed 2nd. Can you tell me a little bit more about the case? What was that issue in the case?
It was regarding what we're discussing here, the requirements of a driver's license and the need when it's required to have one.
That is not what the case was about. We're running into the Eric Martin defense again, where his guru supplied him with a set of case law. And when you look at the case law, you realize that it has nothing to do with the case, or they don't exist at all.
Stating that when you're not operating commerce, to which I informed the officer that I am not operating commerce as stated in USC 18 USCA 31 paragraph A6, states that a motor vehicle, the term of motor vehicle meaning every description of carriage, contrivance, propelled or drawn or mechanical.
18 USC, I believe 31, he said, is literally the definitions for that specific section of code. It literally says it right at the top, but sovereign citizens, I think it was Ed who said I spoiled Moneyball, where Billy Bean was running through all the people he could trade with. Somebody finally said yes, and instead of getting all the information, he just hung up. And he's like, when you get the answer you want, hang up. What sovereign citizens do is they read until they figure out what they want, and then they hang up. That's where they stop reading. Even if the next sentence goes against, like, hey, this, and this, and then it gives you the exact details of when, where, who, how, and when that fits, they don't read that. They only read the part that they can cherry pick, and then they stop reading.
Powered and used for commercial purposes. This is what Title 18 USCA Section 31A6 states or defines as a motor vehicle, to which I am not operating in commerce. I'm not using
for the purposes of that particular chapter of the United States Code. It would not control what happens in terms of the Michigan legislature defining in Chapter 257 what a motor vehicle is, and an automobile under Michigan law is a motor vehicle. But okay, continue.
A motor vehicle, which is described as anything, even by the Michigan compliance statute of 751, which you just stated, is determined as something that is transporting goods, which I am not transporting goods.
I understand your position, and I can tell you that that position doesn't happen to be legally correct. But go ahead.
So you're basically stating that there's a misinterpretation of what's in black and white?
No, I'm telling you that you have misinterpreted the application of 18 U.S.C. 31A6 and 769 F second or Fed second 1344.
Okay,
but
well, I see what
I've heard your argument.
So there will be no further arguments because I see that you're not going to agree to, because like I said, I've given it to you, the cases where they're like Shapiro v. Thompson, where the U.S. Supreme Court has said that a driver license is not a requirement, that you're trying to convert a right into a privilege, to which is covered by Article 1, Section 8.
I'll ask you this. Is that right, the right to travel?
That is a right to travel, convey, however you want it, by the U.S. Constitution.
What you just told me was that somehow but regardless, am trying to convert a right into a privilege. Now, the question I have for you is, what right has been converted to a privilege?
My right to freely travel unencumbered and
now,
unfettered.
I will ask you this. How is your right to travel removed by receiving the citation?
By trying to require me to have a license to operate a automobile, which is my private vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, I see you're not going to agree. That's yes. That's the thing. If you're not agreeing with them, then it must be a conspiracy against them. It must be a conspiracy against them. And it's like, no, that's just the Supreme Court case law and the law of basically everywhere. Doesn't make any sense. I've said it 50,000 times. 100 years ago, the Supreme Court said states can require you to have a driver's license. All 50 states do require you to have a driver's license. The last state to require a driver's license was South Dakota in 1954. Last I checked, I think this is a video from 2024. 99 years before that, they still required a license. They're idiots. They're all idiots.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to consider?
No, sir.
All right. Well, I can tell you this. The Michigan motor vehicle laws, including the laws that require you to carry insurance, that require your vehicle to be registered, and require that registration to be current, do not run in violation of any right to travel under the Constitution or the United States Supreme Court decision that you have cited. In fact, Michigan courts have held that essentially the right to travel means the right for you to move from A to B, not the right for you to travel from A to B under your most convenient way. So you could walk from point A to B all you wanted. You could take a taxi or an Uber or a plane or a train or a bus. But if you wish to travel by using a motor vehicle, the Michigan laws are applicable and don't unconstitutionally interfere with the right to travel. It doesn't convert the right to travel into a privilege. You are not denied the right to travel. You may be denied the privilege of traveling via a motor vehicle that you are operating. So,
okay, so
that is what the law says, and that's what I'm finding.
Okay, I just appeal it, and that way I can make sure all citations are.
That's fine. I mean, I have no problem telling you have the right to travel. I have no problem telling you have the constitutional right to travel. All citizens do. No doubt about that.
One question. Is there a difference between a motor vehicle and an automobile? Is there a difference?
Yes. All automobiles are motor vehicles, but not all motor vehicles are automobiles.
Okay, so is my automobile not my private, personal automobile that's not being used in commerce?
I would have no idea the use of your motor vehicle, and it's not relevant to me for the purposes of deciding whether you're responsible for these civil actions.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else for you to consider.
Well, very good. I'm letting you know the law does not make a distinction between your using the vehicle for personal reasons or you're using the vehicle for commercial reasons when your registration plate is expired and when you fail to show proof of insurance. Both of those are required.
The MCL language.
Both of those are required under Michigan law for anyone operating any motor vehicle. That's what I can tell you. So
correct.
If you're
a motor vehicle, to which I am not operating a motor vehicle, and this is what we are trying to,
I guess,
circumvent.
He's trying to. This is what happens with low IQ people regularly. He thinks he just got the judge in some sort of gotcha moment, when the judge has already got him in 40,000 gotcha moments. He was just too dumb to realize it. Like Roosevelt LaShawn sex offender Williams is one of the dumbest people that I've ever had the displeasure of covering. Like third degree sexual whatever on a 13 to 15-year-old, and then he became a sovereign citizen. Shane, what's up, bud?
Yeah,
I am operating my automobile, not a motor vehicle.
I can tell you that an automobile is considered a motor vehicle under the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code. So that's fine. Is there anything else you want me to consider?
Nope.
Very good. All right. So I've listened very carefully to the evidence. I do find that it's more likely than not that when you were required to at a traffic stop show proof that your vehicle was insured, that you failed to do so, and that it is more likely that your not your operator's license, I'm sorry, the registration plates on the vehicle were expired. So I'm going to assess the $125 on the no proof of insurance case and the $110 on the expired plates case. The address that you want things sent to, Benton Harbor 49022. Is that correct?
That is the address. I don't know where the other address is coming from, but that is my address.
Well, I don't know what other.
Member for 5 months. Please don't be like this guy. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Yeah, he was convicted of third degree sexual whatever with a 13 to 15-year-old in 2007. So honestly, he should have been thrown in a wood chipper directly after that conviction. And we wouldn't have never had to worry about this in general. Is that judge using a green screen? Probably.
Address you're speaking of, but that's the address the court now has for you. So both of those judgments will go out in the mail on Monday. All right. Thank you both for your time and patience. You're all set. Have a very good day.
Thank you, sir. You too. You too.
If I was to guess, it would be, I want to say a Tigers jersey, but I could be wrong.
Thank you both for your time and patience. You're all set. Have a very good day.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Feet first on the slowest setting, Shane. That's what they all deserve. Wiggles, member for 13 months. It's been a good year. Yeah, it's been a solid year. 2015, dear Lord. 2025 was a good year. Yeah, have fun on appeal. Honestly, they're probably going to shoot it down because it's such a common sense thing that they're not even going to hear it. This is the problem with all these sovereign citizens. Oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, it's not. Bad Apple Media, that is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen anyone say in my chat before. One of the dumbest. You literally drove around a domestic abuser to his court date who literally took a nolo contendere plea for this exact thing, or for expired license. And he's still currently running around on a warrant. So please don't talk about who's smart and who's not. You palled around with a domestic abuser. Like, let's stop. Full stop, bud. I am sorry to hear that. I really am. Your mom died in June. Yeah. My bad. All right, let me get this off the screen because we're done with it. Got that from Bama Mike. Bama Mike, great channel. Go give him a like and subscribe. Let me go to live. Let me see who is also live right now, and I'll kick you guys over there. I do have a video pending for people currently that will be out tomorrow. It's a sovereign citizen I'll send you guys over to the nightcap. He's probably watching a sovereign citizen as well. Perfect, perfect. All right. With that said, that's all I got. Everybody have a good rest of your, I don't even know what day it is, Monday. And I'll see you tomorrow. We're doing Booze and Body Cam on Wednesday. That's still a thing. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye.
You're still here? It's over.